And Andy Landers have the most tournament appearances without ever winning the national championship. We're waiting to start right now between Maryland and Sacred Heart. Stacey, you just said something very interesting. This is day 2 of the tournament, but the first game for a lot of these teams. That wait for your first game on day 2 seems like forever sometimes, doesn't it?
It does, Trey, seem like forever, but I think it's advantageous. Georgia came out and smoked their first 2 3-point shots. I think that when you watch the day before, as the tournament starts, as a player, you kind of spend some time looking at the highlights and understanding what's going on, and you're just ready to go. You've almost gotten the jitters out through everybody else on day 2.
I think it also helps you avoid pitfalls. If you watch the games earlier and you're a higher seed and you see teams getting upset, it helps the coaching staff refocus the higher seeds and say, hey, we have to be serious about this team. They could definitely beat us.
Well, we'll see what happens if Sacred Heart will be focused, because after all, they are trying to be one of 8 teams to make their first tournament appearance. Let's join Mark Jones and Deb Antonelli.
All right, Trey, we're here at the Bryce Jordan Center in University Park, Pennsylvania. It's the NCAA Women's Championship presented by Orbitz, the number 2 seed against the 15 seed Maryland against Sacred Heart. The winner of this game facing St. John's, who won just a few moments ago. St. John's in a comeback victory over Cal. As we take a look at our star watch, Amanda Pape, the beacon for Sacred Heart, Debbie.
Well, she's the best player in their league at 5'8", a junior, leads them in scoring, leads them in hustle, leads them in everything. She's going to have a big game. And Crystal Langhorn, one of the top centers in America, first team All-ACC performer. Look at her field goal percentage, 66% leads the country.
Take a look at the starting lineups for Sacred Heart: Burke, Pape, Walker, Rush, Rubino, and then for Maryland, with a decided height advantage, Tolliver, Duran, Harper, Coleman, and Langhorn, the starting 5. As we are set to tip off as Maryland comes into this contest, the decided favorites. I'm Mark Jones along with Deb Antonelli, Rebecca Lobo courtside, Sacred Heart in the red, Maryland wearing white out of the ACC. And Christy Tolliver immediately knocks down a long 2. And the Terps on the board first, and they come out in some full court pressure to boot.
This is a team bigger in every position. They are second in the nation in scoring at better than 84 points a game. They can fill it up, Mark. They can score from all 5 positions, and they are very efficient offensively.
Amanda Pape coming up short on the jump shot. Tolliver with the outlet, looking ahead. And Tolliver feeling good early. Coleman with the hustle and the rebound. Bodies strewn all over the court. Shea Duran goes cross court. Maryland controlling the glass. Harper inside, fouled, and she'll go to the free throw line for a pair. Laura Harper active, showing the attitude of this Maryland team early in the game, Rebecca Lobo.
Well, Mark, yesterday we saw that stark difference in demeanor between a number 3 seed and a team making its first ever NCAA appearance. The Maryland players were very businesslike, answering our questions and talking about how confident they are this time of the year. The Sacred Heart players, on the other hand, were smiling from ear to ear and buying up all the NCAA merchandise at the stand outside their locker room. So while the Pioneers are here to play and win, they are soaking up every bit of this tournament.
And why not, Rebecca, making their first ever NCAA appearance, the champs out of the Northeast Conference.
Well, they had a great year, 26 wins. They've won their last 10. They're a solid team, but Maryland is really good, Mark, and they have not a senior of significance that gets playing time. All 5 players averaging double figures on the floor. This is a high-powered offensive attack.
Exhibit A right there. Marissa Coleman with the step-back jump shot. It's 6-0. Amanda Pape breaks the pressure. And Sacred Heart on the scoreboard.
Look how quickly Sacred Heart got the ball out of the net and looked right down the floor. Their sideline break to Pape, their leading scorer and rebounder.
Tolliver out top. She's the point guard running the show. One of a couple of very talented freshmen that start for Maryland. Tolliver along with Marissa Coleman, who is the freshman of the year in the ACC. A foul on the shot.
Sacred Heart's going to pick up in their 2-2-1 off of made baskets. They're going to fall back into a 2-3 zone and try to protect inside out. But Maryland goes 6-4, 6-4 across the front.
Brenda Freese there, the head coach on the sidelines in her 4th year, 35 years old. Harper with the free throw line for a couple more. And Harper a perfect 3 for 3 actually from the foul line, albeit early in the ball game. Maryland leading by 5. And Brenda Freese has done an absolutely great job at Maryland in her short time there. Just 1 win shy of the school record. with 28 wins so far coming in.
Well, 4 years ago, they weren't even in the NCAA tournament. Her first year, they only won 10 games. And in 3 years, look at where they sit now. 28 wins, a number 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. One of the best seasons ever in the history of Maryland basketball.
Playing in a very competitive ACC. A tough Coleman with the rebound off the miss. Maryland looking to run once again. Here's Tolliver up court. Nice feed inside. Langhorne muscles it right over the top of Jasmine Walker.
Langhorne is all business all day on the block. She catches it that deep, 2 feet in the paint. That is all day.
9-2, and Carrie Burke, the point guard, the 5'7" junior, knocks down a long ball and leads us down to 4.
Okay, look at Sacred Heart picking up in some full court pressure. They're going to make Maryland earn this. They like to play 94 feet. They're a team that likes to run as well. Coach Ed Swanson told me yesterday they're going to try to slow it down if they can, because they can't afford to change baskets from Maryland. They're not going to be able to do that.
Nice pass by Shea Duran, but Amanda Pate back quickly the other way. Missing a nice look. Sacred Heart seems very comfortable running up and down. Coleman would have been a highlight, but she missed. Up and down they go. Chuck and duck and sleep in the streets. That's the name of the game so far. Back we go the other way now. Maryland off the miss, and Tolliver.
Harper bothered that shot down there. She's got 65 blocks in the season.
Langhorne once again, Debbie, just muscled it over the top of Walker.
Well, look at Sacred Heart trying to throw it down the floor quickly and score.
Amanda Pate lets it fly, and Sacred Heart determined to keep up this racehorse pace with Maryland so far.
I like to call Crystal Langhorne Plan A, Laura Harper Plan B, and it's not a bad Plan B.
There's Plan A going to work, and 1.
3 for 3 inside every time she touches, and there is no way Ed Swanson's team can guard her. She is too talented, too strong, too good on the inside, Crystal Langhorne.
Langhorne going to go to the free throw line and try and complete the three-point play. On the season, shot right around 70% for most of the year. Tailed off a little bit towards the end of the season. Averaging a little over 16 points per. Langhorne, last year's ACC Freshman of the Year. Makes it 16-7 now for the Terps.
And she is plus 10 free throw percentage over last year. 59% free throw shooter, almost near 70 this year. You're right.
Both off the miss. Foul underneath against Sacred Heart. It's going to go against Burke. Maryland coming off a loss in the ACC tournament final against North Carolina. Played them very tough, and they were the first team actually that defeated North Carolina this season in a game at Chapel Hill.
Right, the only team to beat North Carolina, the #1 team in the country, the #1 overall seed in the NCAA tournament.
Tolliver comes up short that time. Rubino from outside lets it go, and Sacred Heart thinking about, hey, we want to hang around a little bit, down by just 6.
You got to love this, Mark. Look at the effort that Sacred Heart is playing with. This is the way they play. This is who they are. They're not changing what they do. They've won 10 in a row. They won their conference. They won their conference tournament.
It's the second meeting all time between these two schools. They met back in 2003. Maryland won easily, 90-49. But only one of the players that was around remembers that, so that's a good thing for the Pioneers. Nice move on the block for the layup. Jade Perry knocks it down for the Terps, makes it 18-10.
See, Jade Perry can come off the bench, give Maryland depth on the front line, give Laura Harper a chance to take a break.
Rubino knocks down another three-pointer.
Sacred Heart is 3 for 4 outside the arc.
A tiny school out of Fairfield, Connecticut, living out their dream. Langhorne steps through and got ripped. It's a 3-on-1. Burke on the break. And it's a three-point game. The feisty, pugnacious Pioneers out of Sacred Heart making a little bit of noise here in University Park. Timeout on the floor with 14:32 to go. On the move and doing it well. Carrie Burke catching the beat, and we'll be back. The NCAA Women's Championship presented by Orbit. Sacred Heart hanging in, down by 5. And NCAA Women's Championship continues on ESPN2 tonight. More regional action. That Notre Dame-Boston College tilt should be very intriguing.
Well, Notre Dame was finished 9th in the Big East, and Boston College losing 5 games coming into the tournament. We'll see if Kathy Inglis can get it turned around with Brooke Queenan on the inside and Catherine Ress, a solid front line attack.
Perry knocks down the first of 2 foul shots. Maryland leading by 6. It actually started earlier in the season. 7-point lead now. Sacred Heart has really started to find their offensive rhythm, and it lies in those long outlet passes on the break, it seems.
They can fill and go. They can shoot the 3, and now they're going to run a little weave out front.
Rubino kicks it out.
Maryland playing man-to-man defensively. They're going to force Sacred Heart to score in their quarter court. Let's see if they can, because everything else has been out of their transition game.
Inside, way off the mark that time. As Sawinski had a good look. Newman did well just to chase down that pass. It was a little bit in front of her. There's Amanda Pate driving baseline. Got it back and was fouled on the second attempt. So Amanda Pate makes her way to the free throw line. And for more on Maryland, let's go courtside to Rebecca.
Well, Mark, no surprise in that last timeout. Brenda Fries was fired up looking at her team. She said, what did we work on all last week? Transition defense. We are getting beat. No more threes, no more transition defense. There's no excuse for this. Take pride in your half-court defense.
Player for player yesterday, and we said, what did you do in the 2 weeks that you were off between the ACC tournament final and playing here? And she said, everybody for a player, defense and rebounding, and they're not getting back right now, and that's why Brenda Fries had to call the timeout.
It makes you wonder about that strategy, because Maryland is one of the highest scoring teams in the country. Can you change the way that you are at this point?
And that's why they didn't work on offense, Mark. That's why they spent their time working on defense, because they're not known for that. And I think Brenda Fries knew coming in the tournament that you can't always score 80 points a game. You've got to be able to your quarter court defensively, and that's why they spent time on it.
Off the miss, here comes the Terp. Up by 7, under 12:50 to go here in the first half. A very entertaining first half so far. Newman steps out. Harper controlling the glass, and that is where ultimately Sacred Heart, their success or lack thereof, will be defined on the glass.
And I think Maryland is quick shooting. They're making one pass, jacking it from the perimeter. What they need to do is go inside to their size. That's where their advantage is.
Harper steps to the free throw line. Laura Harper from Elkins Park, Pennsylvania. 6'4" sophomore, averaging about 11 points a game to go along with 7 rebounds. As we look at where Maryland ranks nationally, first in three-point percentage and amongst the leaders in points per game, scoring margin, and field goal percentage. This is a very prolific group on the court.
Now they're fun to watch. They can really get it and go. Fill the lanes, get up and down.
The lead is up to 9. And Sacred Heart turns it over. Sawinski couldn't find the handle. Newman on the break. Their transition was incredible that time.
That's 6'1" Marissa Coleman threading the needle on the bounce pass between 3 Sacred Heart defenders.
Amanda Pape on the cut, finds 2 bodies surrounding her.
And she's a lefty. They like to run all their stuff on that side of the floor, so she's coming back to be able to use her strong hand.
Burke with 6 on the shot clock, lets it fly. Pape got it back. Missed it. Sawinski keeps it up and keeps it alive. Moret knocks down the 3 ball. Lisa Moret.
4 3-pointers off the rebound. Instead of using clock, Moret, who's one of their better 3-point shooters, she's only had 8 2-point baskets all season.
Perry inside, rejected by Sawinski.
That's Sawinski's second block, and this first shot she's been able to alter. She's showing some presence on the inside.
Rubino missing the long ball. Marissa Coleman has wonderful hands.
Well, she's a matchup nightmare, Mark, because at 6'1", she can go to the block. She's one of the best 3-point shooters in women's basketball, second in the nation at percentage at 51.
Coleman puts it on the floor a couple of times. Harper. 8 on the shot clock for the Terps. Tolliver missing the 3 ball. Perry battling inside.
Look at Harper working on the glass. Great hands, can rebound out of her area because of her length.
They cannot keep Maryland off the board so far. The Terps already with 19 rebounds compared to just 9 for Sacred Heart. You know what they say about rebounds? They cover up a lot of hills. Back after this. A couple of teams getting their jacks today. Maryland and Sacred Heart running up and down. Part of the Albuquerque region. First round action. 10:52 to go. The Terps with the lead. This year marks the 25th anniversary of the championship. Now to celebrate, we're counting down the top 25 championship moments through the championship game on April 4th. Time now to spotlight moment number 9, brought to you by Singular. Tennessee, then an up-and-coming team, took on the defending champs USC as Legend B looked on from the Lady Vols bench. The Final Four's most outstanding player in back-to-back years, Cheryl Miller, led the women of Troy past the Lady Vols as USC became the first team to win consecutive national titles. And back at the line, Harper.
Really showing her rebounding ability to be able to work the offensive glass, really taking advantage of their size inside. Harper only played 9 games last season, had the Achilles injury, already with 10 points in 9 minutes of play.
It was an amazing comeback story, and the fact that it was 7 months until she could actually start running again. With a long, arduous bit of rehabilitation, and here she is being very productive this season for Maryland. Terps leading 27-18.
They're having to go deep into their bench already with Norez on the floor. This Sacred Heart team is making Maryland work.
It's not easy.
They got a good sweat going.
Tolliver coming back the other way for the Terps. Newman for 3. Harper controlling the glass underneath. That is one of the early storylines of this ball game for the Terps. They kick it back out. Boy, look at Coleman, so comfortable on the perimeter.
Well, she could play the point. She can actually play 1 through 4 for Brenda Freeze.
Here comes Burke the other way for Sacred Heart. Tiny school out of Fairfield, Connecticut, just off of the Merritt Parkway, exit number 48.
That's your old territory.
Yeah, one of the more pristine parts of the country. Vino had it knocked away in a turnover for the Pioneers.
Well, Maryland doing a good job of pinching on the dribble penetration, getting in the passing lanes.
And Christy Tolliver missed the left-handed layup.
Well, Maryland not in rhythm offensively. 1 or 2 passes and a shot. They're not making Sacred Heart play any quarter-court defense, and that will neutralize their size on the inside. They want to pound away, take it right at them, block to block.
Sacred Heart, Debbie, has been forced to run much more half-court in the latter part of the first half here.
Well, ever since Rebecca Lobo gave us that report out of the Brenda Freeze huddle that they needed to take away transition defense, and they've done that.
Langhorn and Shea Duran coming back into the ball game for the Terps. For live stats and game recaps of all rounds of every championship, go to NCAAsports.com. NCAAsports.com is the official online home for all 88 NCAA championships. Rubino off the inbound, launches a 3, and was wide right. 9 minutes to go here in the first half. Tolliver with the hit ahead. Great feed to Langhorn, but she couldn't find the handle. Pate, and she misses.
Now look at Langhorn running rim to rim. Mishandles down in the paint, gets back down for the rebound.
That's going to be a blocking foul before the shot. As Ashley Newman went to the cup.
I think Maryland looks a little fatigued. Brenda Freeze has had to play a lot of players early.
It's funny you mentioned that, because a couple of moments ago, before Tolliver came back into the ball game, we saw Tolliver during one of the commercial breaks, or before one of the commercial breaks, pull on her uniform as if to say, hey, coach, come and get me for a couple minutes. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Maryland basketball. And conspicuous by her silence so far, one of the names we haven't said, Debbie, for Maryland Shea Duran.
Right. Shea has really done a nice job of blending in offensively, not forcing anything. I think she's been a tremendous leader for this team late in the season. Playing in the ACC, they've got enough big game experience. And Shea Duran, I give credit for helping Christy Tolliver get comfortable at the point.
Last year, Duran had to play a lot of point because Maryland didn't have what you would consider a true point guard. And Duran, as a junior, one of the more senior members of this team with a couple of freshmen and sophomores. There's one of the talented sophomores working inside, Langhorn. And she shows you why she leads the nation in field goal percentage.
She's on the State Farm Wade Trophy list, and she should be. She is, in my opinion, one of the top 10 players in America, one of the best centers in the country.
Off the turnover, it's Maryland basketball leading by 11 as we approach 8 minutes to go here in the first half. Tolliver, the son of a former NBA referee, George Tolliver, who, by the way, is in attendance here at University Park, Pennsylvania, watching his daughter play. Duran from outside. And there's Shea Duran, no longer conspicuous by her silence. 32-18, the Terps with the lead, beginning to assert themselves a little bit.
Well, they're starting to get comfortable and then missed the last 11 of 12 field goals for Sacred Heart. That's because they've had to execute in the quarter court. Now Maryland's starting to pound away and wear them out.
Rubino out top, and she traveled with it. So Maryland, since that tongue lashing that they took, that stern talk they took from their head coach, turning up the screws defensively on Sacred Heart, and Duran taking care of the offense. Back up to this.
Send it back to Mark Jones and Deb Antonelli.
All right, thanks a lot, Trey. Back here, Maryland with possession, getting an easy one underneath from Shea Duran. And it's 34-18, lead by 16 points.
And when Brenda Freeze called that timeout at the 14:30 mark, Sacred Heart in the last 7 minutes has had one basket, and that was the three. They've had nothing out of their transition game.
And they turn over the Pioneers one more time. And for more on Sacred Heart and what happened inside their huddle, here's Rebecca.
Coach Ed Swanson was talking all offense, telling his team stay wide. We need to pass, move, and cut. It's not good defense that's hurting us. It's what we're not doing. He said, look at their front court. They're 6'4" and 6'1" inside. You put the ball on the floor, you're in trouble. Once again, pass, move, cut, take the open shot.
Well, they're a very good perimeter shooting team, Rebecca, and you can't over-penetrate against Maryland, because if you do, they've got shot blockers inside waiting to just take the ball away from you.
A great size along that front line, as she talked about a few moments ago. From outside, Burke with a miss.
Yeah, I think that's when Sacred Heart was able to make their run, when they could score out of their transition game. They can't go punch for punch with Maryland in the quarter court.
Langhorn tries to step through, but she's whistled for the offensive foul, as Lisa Moret took one for the team right between the ones. Wearing number 11, she took that right in her chest. That had to hurt a little bit.
This pass leads Langhorn strong to the bucket. Looks like Moret stepped in underneath, but you got to referee the defense in that situation.
Langhorn earns a trip to the bench with that. Under 6.5 minutes to play. Amanda Pake lets it fly. And it's one and done at the offensive end for Sacred Heart.
Look at the versatility of Marissa Coleman, the 6'1" ACC Rookie of the Year, can initiate at the point, can do so many things in her offensive skill set.
Okay, we talked about the top freshman. Coleman obviously one of them.
Oh yeah, I love
but
her.
Does Candace Parker's slam dunks, plurals, earn her a few more votes?
Well, you know, Courtney Paris is out there for Oklahoma, putting up unbelievable numbers. Candace Parker doing a great job. I like Marissa Coleman. I think those are several candidates to consider. I also like, you know, I like Renee Montgomery for Connecticut. We'll see her later tonight. I think she's one of the top 5 freshmen, and Christy Tolliver would complete my list of 5, Mark.
That's a pretty good 5. 36-18, the Terps with the lead, doubling up on Sacred Heart. Pape on the baseline, nice feed to Walker. And Walker gets it to go. She finally gets on the scoreboard. She is an important cog for them. She's their 3rd leading scorer. And they need a little bit of a contribution from her. She averages a little over 12 points a game coming in.
Well, all her numbers are up. Her field goal percentage, her offensive rebounding, her scoring and rebounding, everything better for Walker this season. She's given him a presence inside.
Laura Harper is filling her hat inside tonight. More points in the paint coming up for her. Harper already in double-figure scoring. From outside, Pape off the mark. Sawinski couldn't get the handle on it. It's out of bounds. There's a look at how Maryland's dominating in the paint.
Well, that's their strength. It's Harper and Langhorne on the inside, and they've outscored Sacred Heart in the paint. Sacred Heart only has 20 points, 24 of Maryland's 38 from inside.
Both inbound for the Pioneers. Moray from way downtown missed it badly. That's what you get with her, though. She's one of those feast of famine players. Jade Duran.
Oh, it was Coleman with the tip, almost.
You can say this for Sacred Heart. They may be missing a few shots here in the later part of the first half, but they are not intimidated. Like I said, that's what you get with Moray.
That's her second three, and see how she comes off that screen and sets her feet, catches it in the shooting pocket, ready to score. That's what good shooters do. They do the work before they get the basketball in their hands.
Lead is 15 for the Terps. Inside, Harper. Another offensive rebound and one.
Jade Perry goes immediately to the boards as soon as Harper catches inside.
The Terps with 17 offensive rebounds. That one almost looked like a pass to Perry. Back with more after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the NCAA Women's Basketball Championship is brought to you by State Farm. Great service and great rates. You can get it all from State Farm.
Welcome back, everybody, to State College, Pennsylvania. This is first round action of the Albuquerque Regional. Maryland, the 2 seed, leading the 15 seed. Sacred Heart by 17 points. Jade Perry stepping to the free throw line, a 6'1 sophomore from Central City, Kentucky. Actually started last year in place of Laura Harper when Harper was out with that Achilles injury. And boy, Perry has really made her indelible imprint on this game early on the glass.
Well, she gives them a different look in the post, a stronger type body, you know, good minutes off the bench, productive, can defend on the perimeter as well.
The Northeast Conference champs on the ropes right now, down by 18 points. Moray, after making a three on the last possession, missing this time.
Well, that gives Harper 10 rebounds, Mark, and that would give her a double-double already in the basketball game with 14 points.
Nice cross-court feed by Tolliver. Harper missed that time, got it back, and earns herself another trip to the free throw line.
Well, Harper is really working for position in the paint, doing a nice job block to block.
The NCAA Women's Championship continues tonight on ESPN2. More regional first-round action beginning at 9 Eastern time. Coppin State taking on Connecticut amongst the games on the menu. That's the game that we'll get a chance to call. That's the late one. And in listening to some of the Coppin State players and coaches yesterday, don't sleep on them, folks. There might be something brewing a little bit. They are of the distinct feeling that some people are underestimating them a little bit.
Well, 15 has never beaten a 2, but the thing about Coppin State is they've won 21 in a row. They haven't lost in the calendar year 2006, and they are the best field goal percentage defense. Now, Connecticut has shown some ability to struggle to score. If that happens to them, that will give Coppin State confidence.
Some good quickness on that Coppin State team. Right now, Maryland leading by 20 after the free throw.
I would think that Connecticut, coming off the Big East tournament, is ready to go. They looked great in practice yesterday.
8 on the shot clock. Burke in the corner, got turned over by Tolliver. Great hustle by Christy Tolliver, doing a little Marcus Haynes, too.
Look at that hustle by Tolliver. That's the kind of extra effort play that your teammates feed off of.
Father George Tolliver, the former NBA referee, now a supervisor of officials. One of the observers, a foul inside as Jade Perry muscled it up. That was 1-on-3, but didn't bother her much, did it, Debbie?
No, she's got to look to pass it out to a shooter. This is one of the best three-point shooting teams in the country, and when you get the double on the interior, that's going to open somebody up on the outside.
With more on Tolliver, let's go to Rebecca. Rebecca?
Mark, you mentioned that Christy Tolliver's dad was an NBA referee for 19 years. Growing up, Christy would attend NBA games and said she learned how to speak to officials by watching players like Michael Jordan interact with her father. She said there is a right way and a wrong way to talk to a referee. The wrong way, getting vocal and hot-headed. The right way, approach a referee during a free throw or other dead ball situation, put your hand on his back and say a few words to make your point. She said a dead ball is best because it gives the referee time to think about what you're saying.
Boy, Rebecca, she's broken it down into a science.
Boy,
I like that.
She's been coached by the referee on how to coach the referee.
Boy, she needs to put a DVD out on that. There's Amanda Pape going to the bucket, and she's fouled. Maybe Tolliver will go to work during this foul shot. That's what she suggests, right? As Amanda Pape, the player of the year in the Northeastern Conference, former Northeast Conference Rookie of the Year.
She's also coming off of 25 points and 14 rebounds in the conference tournament championship, which she received the most valuable player award as well. This is a hard-working, relentless, extra effort kind of player. Goes to the free throw line more than anybody in her conference.
Pape knocks down the first of two, and really just a great story in the respect that she's back on the basketball court. Last year at the end of the season received a little bit of a scare. They discovered a problem with her liver. She took a blow to the liver at some point during last season and didn't quite know when or where it happened, but she's fortunate to be back on the basketball court. And now Sacred Heart with a little bit of a pressure look, and they get to turn over Maryland almost.
I think there's an issue with the shot clock possibly. It's only at 28 seconds.
Can try and figure this one out. Yeah, we definitely do have a shot clock issue. This is one of those situations, Debbie, where they can go to the videotape.
No, and this is when Maryland would be like, phew, we need a break. Let's take a break right here. See, the shot clock accidentally reset. Shot clock operator reset it. Possession did not change.
Looks like it was at about 25.
But you can go to the monitor to look at it for timing issues.
Boy, you look at that guy right there on the sidelines, Ed Swanson. What a week it's been for him. Not only the excitement and anticipation of their first ever appearance in the NCAA tournament, but he and his wife giving birth to a baby.
Marion,
having a baby this week.
Connor John, born on Tuesday, and she's not able to make the trip. She's at home.
That's a heck of a checklist, isn't it?
Look at that. What a great week for him. And as a matter of fact, he said, you know, for 16 years he's been coaching at Sacred Heart, waiting for a chance to make an appearance in the NCAA tournament, and it happens to be the second best thing that happens to you this week.
Yeah.
Of course, the birth of his first child would be the first.
Swanson, a 1989 Sacred Heart graduate. A lot of eyes watching Ed Swanson's team perform today, including probably the governor of Connecticut, who phoned to offer congratulations after they received their NCAA bid. Ed Swanson in his 7th year as the head coach, watching his team right now trail by 20 points to the number 2 seed in the Albuquerque region, Maryland, coached by Brenda Fries. She's in her 4th year on the sidelines at Maryland, and what a great job she too has done with her troops.
Well, this is a Sacred Heart team that started out quickly, did a great job of getting out on the break, scoring in transition, and this is what we're looking at. We're taking a look at the shot clock situation.
Yeah, it got down to 24 when it reset. And we know that the officials have the ability to watch the video and make the appropriate correction. Right now they have 21 seconds on the shot clock, so looks like that's where they're going to set it. Tolliver inbound for Maryland. Maryland in the white, Sacred Heart in the red.
Maryland has scored a lot of points in the paint. They've taken advantage of their size on the inside.
Cross-court feed by Tolliver, picked off by Amanda Pate. And that's going to be a traveling violation against Gruber.
But that's the transition defense that Brenda Fries was asking your team for. Since she called that timeout at the 14:30 mark, Sacred Heart has not been able to get any baskets in transition. As a matter of fact, they've only scored 7 points.
The furrowed brow and now the messed up hair of Coach Swanson on the sideline, so you can take one of those check marks off. Duran goes cross-court to Tolliver. And look at the huge discrepancy in points in the paint. Duran missing on the baseline.